What's up, you guys? Welcome to episode 7 of Kouch Chronicles.
Hi.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Kristen.
And this week, we're telling a story, and our story is our AirBNB nightmare in Big Bear. If you knew how many times I tried to say Airbnb and kept saying Airbnb, yeah.
It was bad, actually.
This is a really funny story, though.
It is really funny. I also have something to say. If you're watching this on YouTube, so you see the video, I am an outfit repeater today. And it's because today was the Super Bowl and it should have been the Lions.
You know what? It should have been the Lions and the Bengals. And look at us. Look at us.
So no one come at me with the outfit repeater.
I also want to put on the record that next year, the Super Bowl is going to be the Lions and the Bengals.
I don't know if I want that or I don't want that. You know what I mean?
I want it so that we can both make it, but it's going to be tough.
I don't think we can watch it together, dude.
Kristen, it's going to test our friendship.
Yeah, that's why I don't think we can watch it together.
Well, I'm going to be at the game.
Okay, well, when you come up with like $2 million, let me know.
Hey, so for everyone watching, send this to your friends.
Hey, please get us Super Bowl 59 tickets.
Hit that share button.
Yay.
So the story starts at 5 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was in charge of booking the Airbnb. So I booked an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
Cute, tiny little,
super cute,
very modern house in the village in Big Bear. If you know, like the main like strip in Big Bear. Okay.
With all the cute little shops, restaurants. It's all like a cute little like downtown that you see in like a Hallmark movie.
So the Airbnb was very much like in the middle of everything. Mm-hmm. We would have felt really safe. Honestly, the smaller the better, because then nobody can break in and hide.
I think it was just like a 1-bedroom too.
Yeah, it was
like a tiny little, like all we needed.
Yeah, and we were just gonna share a bed because we knew we'd probably be scared anyways because that's just how we are. But we were so excited. Okay, so we wake up at 5 a.m. We go to Starbucks. We have like our Big Bear routine.
Yeah.
We go get Starbucks, start our little trek up the mountain.
And the reason we get up at 5 is because we want to get there when it opens.
Yeah. We get there right when it opens. And then our plan this time was we were going to snowboard, and then we were going to go ride this little roller coaster thing, and then check into our Airbnb, go get dinner, shower, hot tub, shower, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Have a little game night, and then wake up the next day and go snowboarding again, because
before we headed home.
Yeah, we have Big Bear passes, so we wanted to get our money's worth. So we were like, we usually do a day trip. So that was our plan. So everything was going according to plan when we got there.
Yeah.
We get up to the mountain.
It was like a perfect day.
It was so perfect.
Yeah.
We get to the mountain, we're snowboarding. And for some reason, I remember we talked about this the whole time we were snowboarding. We were like excited we brought Clue. We were in a big Clue phase.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, can't wait to go play Clue at the Airbnb.
We were so excited to play Clue.
Like, snowboarding was fun, but we were excited for all the other activities.
Yeah, we're excited to go play Clue and like sit on the couch. Like,
yeah, it's typical us. So we snowboard, and then right after that, we went to the roller coaster thing.
I think it's called like Alpine Coaster or something. Yeah. If you're familiar with Big Bear, I feel like you know it. If you go up, I feel like we go up like the main front way. And it's just like, or if you've ever been to like, what is it, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, they have like mountain coasters and stuff.
They're the kind of coasters where like you have like the lever and like
you control your speed.
Yeah.
I did one in Gatlinburg.
Oh.
And it was so much fun. I was like, we have to do the one in Big Bear. We have to.
And it was we had so much fun. Even just standing in line, we were just, one thing about us, we're going to make it fun. It's really goofing around, making jokes, whatever. We were probably talking to people too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you were.
Every day I'm like, I made 12 new friends today.
And I'm like, I literally talked to myself.
So we do this roller coaster. It was so fun. But it's like everything that we were doing, we were like excited for the
yeah, we were. We're like, this is so fun, but I can't wait to sit down later. I can't wait to go get out to dinner later. I can't wait to walk to dinner later.
We're just the most in our element when we're like sitting at home playing games. So we go to check in at the Airbnb, and the check-in was through a rental like building.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to this like vacation rental place, and we get there, And this guy, I can't remember his name. Do you remember his name?
Marco.
I'm
pretty sure.
He's helping us, okay? And he's like looking up the reservation, cannot find it. So then Kristen's naturally thinking, this bitch booked it for the wrong dates.
I immediately was like, I know she booked it because she sent me the confirmation of booking. But I was like, this bitch definitely booked it on like the wrong weekend or something.
And I was like, no, I know that I didn't. But then, of course, in a situation like that where they can't find it, you start second guessing yourself.
Yeah,
so of course. I pull it up.
I'm sorry, like, I made you second guess yourself.
Okay. I would have done it anyways. I pull it up and it says the exact dates. I'm like, is the year? Is it 2023 right now? What year are we in?
And honestly, I'm so shocked that it is like the current date that I'm literally repeating it back to her. I'm like, yeah.
And then we're checking our calendars, like, is that what day today is?
I literally pulled out my phone, I remember, and looked at the calendar. I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's today.
I
that's
remember
today.
Being like, what year is it?
I know.
Like, what's happening?
And this is like the guy was standing in front of us. And we were like,
yeah,
what?
We're having this whole thing. Turns out
it was already checked into.
Yeah. So because we went and did our little roller coaster, the other people got there first.
Yeah, they checked in. And then we showed up and they couldn't find our reservation because it was gone.
It was gonesies. So we're immediately like, okay, well, what's the solution, boys? Because we didn't mess it up. And I don't know if you messed it up, but you're going to fix it.
Yeah, and we paid for this.
Then he's like, we're going to find you a new place. No worries. We're like, cool.
Yeah.
So he pulls up this new place and it's huge.
It's cheaper than what we were paying. So we were getting money back. And the views in these pictures, it looked so nice. Like the views, it was like to a big like open field.
Yeah.
And there was no doubt in my mind, no second guessing of where the hell this field was.
No, and they did tell us it was a little, I think they said it was like 20 minutes away, but we were like, whatever. We don't need to be in the village. And it's fine.
They presented it to us like it was the only option, to be fair.
Yeah.
They presented it to us like, oh, like this is what, like the only thing we have currently available.
Yeah, they did. Which they did have more options, we found out later. But they made it seem like that was the only option. And honestly, to get to that point was taking so long. And we were hungry.
We were so upset.
And it was beautiful. So we were like, oh my God, we're getting a huge upgrade for $100 cheaper.
Thinking we scammed these guys.
Like, yeah. Maybe that should have been a red flag.
Or maybe we should have been like, do you have anything closer? Do you have anything else?
We should have asked literally any questions.
Any at all. We didn't. We both went, wow.
We were like, we didn't even get through all the pictures. No, we were like, we're sold.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
Done. Take it. Like, we got it.
So impulsive. So.
Such idiots.
We go through this whole process of like getting it switched over. We start driving. Driving
a little bit more. And
it's pitch dark outside at this point.
Keep in mind. Yeah.
And then it's so dark on this street that we're in that we drive right past the house. Didn't even see it.
There are no streetlights.
No streetlights and no lights on at this house either. And we get like 2 houses down and it's boarded up.
Like completely boarded up. I think we had passed a couple of houses that were boarded up along the way.
Yeah.
And like we're not from Big Bear. Like we don't know.
We don't know anything really.
Anything about like the neighborhoods there. So we were just like, okay. Like this is unusual.
It was far away.
Yeah. It was far away. We were not familiar with any of the neighborhoods in Big Bear. So we didn't know like, I don't know. Like I feel like in any area there's like good and bad neighborhoods that you like want to be in.
How do you know? So we pull up into the driveway of ours and we're going to share videos of the inside of the house, but you pull up and it's on a hill. So you're very like slanted in the driveway, like used my emergency brake and everything. And you're looking at a garage door, but they had like big pictures like on the garage door instead of windows.
Yeah. So it like blocked the garage from opening at all.
Yeah. And also 0 lights on anywhere. So it is so dark. And so then the way you get to the front door, which is on the side of the house, is you have to go up the stairs on the side. Okay. These stairs were a solid sheet of ice.
They were covered in ice.
So we have our suitcases.
There's no other way up, you guys.
Our snowboards, our bags, everything. And we are like holding on to our stuff, clinging onto the railing, like scaling this ice to get up. And we're both slipping everywhere.
remember we were like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like, only a couple more steps. Like, we have to get inside. We want to shower so bad.
Oh my God. That was the big thing. We wanted to shower. Okay. So we finally get inside. And also, we were really excited to cook breakfast in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The kitchen of in the pictures of this place, because we saw them.
It was cute.
And however they took the picture, we were like, oh my gosh, that's perfect.
It was like the most catfish house I've ever seen.
I've never experienced anything like this.
And when you walk, have you guys ever walked into a house and you walk in and it's just like heavy and like bad
There's
vibes?
something bad about it. Yeah.
We both were like, ugh. Like as soon as we walked in, but we didn't say anything because we didn't want to freak each other. She knew if she said something, I would be like, we're leaving.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say anything because I was like, one of us can't be freaked out.
Yeah.
So if I say something, it's probably going to freak her out a little bit and it's not going to be good. So I'm like, we're both like playing it cool, but like
we're playing it cool for each other.
We were so scared. So we get into this house.
I've never been more nervous in my life ever.
Yeah. This was the second scariest thing that has ever happened to me, you guys. So I get in the shower first. Kristen was like, you can shower first. And I can just picture you like sitting there like looking around like, what do I do? What do I do?
So in my mind, we had walked in and there was one bedroom downstairs with one bed in it. And upstairs there was like a loft with a bed or a couple beds, I think, in it. And then a bedroom with two queen size beds on like opposite sides of the room.
Oh,
I think. Or fuller queens. I don't know. But they were so far apart and the house was like angled, like triangular.
Yeah.
That it was just so awkward.
Like if you slept on the one side of the bed and lifted your head up, you'd hit your head on the ceiling. Yeah. On the other side, you'd be fine.
Yeah. And then like there literally is another bed on like 20 feet away from you.
It was like the longest room ever.
It was so strange. Anyways.
It looked like something out of a scary movie. Yeah. So we were like, at first when we got there, we put our stuff in the downstairs room. We're like, we'll sleep here. Once we went upstairs, we're like, oh, there's two beds. Perfect. Like, let's just stay up here.
Like, we can be in the same room and still have our own bed. Like, cool, let's try it.
But then the vibes were so bad upstairs that eventually I go, I think we should sleep downstairs. And she was like, yep, okay, all right, sounds good. Like, no debate. So I get in the shower and
But we had left our stuff upstairs.
Oh, yeah, our stuff was upstairs.
Yeah, so...
This is important later.
Yeah. So Kelsey got into the shower and...
The shower, keep in mind, is like 2 drops of water. Yeah. Like, it's the worst shower. It was dirty.
It was
zero
so bad.
Water pressure. Honestly, just zero water at all.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm in there, before you tell your side of the story, the whole time I'm in there, I'm thinking, holy shit, what if Kristen's like getting murdered right now? Like, what if somebody's breaking in and killing her? Or there's like a ghost. Also, there was a cabinet at the end of the hallway that I opened, and the wall from the back of it, like you could press it and like you could fit
it, like
there.
Gave way. Like there was more house behind this cabinet.
You could hide in the walls of this house.
It was
crazy. We've seen too many scary movies for this. So we're creeped out. So I'm thinking something bad's happening while I'm in the shower. I'm like popping my head out every 5 seconds to like listen. And meanwhile,
I am in like the living room kitchen area. It's all kind of like one open space besides the bedroom and the bathroom, obviously. And there's one whole wall that looks out onto this empty field,
and the driveway
it's all
and everything.
Glass, sliding glass doors. One of them actually locks, and the other you need to put in that like wood like thing to keep it locked. So you,
like down at the bottom, so you can't open it.
Yeah, like a stick.
Yeah. Like a heavy duty stick.
Yeah. And so already when you were in the shower, I like checked that out and I was like, oh, I hate that. But I'm like, I'm not going to tell Kelsey that this one doesn't lock. I'm not going to tell her because it's going to freak her out.
It would have freaked. I was already freaking out. It didn't matter, really.
Yeah. And then since it was pitch dark outside, I was so creeped out about sitting in the living room with the full glass like wall staring out into a field. Like I was like, I feel like someone's staring at me, so I'm gonna close the curtains. So as I'm in there, I'm like closing the curtains, but I'm scared that there's someone on the other side of the door already. So I'm like grabbing the curtain and like doing like this. Like,
there's
one
not
of
even,
these.
there was no lights anywhere. So like, it's not like we could turn on the lights outside and see what was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they were, but we didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
If
they
did.
probably had them now that I think about it, but whatever. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how long Kelsey's going to be, so I might as well try and like log into Netflix on their TV so we have something to watch, like before we go to dinner, like after, like whatever. So I'm like trying to log into Netflix, but at the very same time, I'm so freaked the hell out.
And so was I.
That I am sitting like almost fetal position in like the very corner of one of the sofas in the living room. And I was so cold, but this house, like, it wasn't clean. Like, it was pretty musty.
We didn't connect this until later, but neither one of us wanted to like use the blankets or like the thought of sleeping in those beds. We were just like, ugh.
Yeah. And so they had blankets in the living room, but I like didn't want to touch them. Like, that's how gross looking they were.
Yeah.
And so I was literally in the fetal position in the corner of a couch, logging into Netflix. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there. Kelsey's been in the shower for like 5-10 minutes now. There's a knock on the front door.
I would have thrown up immediately, vomited.
Jumped 10 feet up into the air. I would have broke a record for sure. I jumped like 10 feet up into the air, and my first instinct was to run to the bathroom to go get Kelsey because I was so scared.
But I was naked in the shower.
Yeah,
like, what was I going to do?
Halfway to the bathroom, I realized that Kelsey was naked in the shower and there was no way she could help me. And then at the same time, I'm realizing that I'm looking to my right at the front door. It has a fucking glass window in it. And all I can see is this tall man.
A man.
Standing,
Imagine.
I know. And it's pitch black, you guys, standing outside the door. And I don't know what to do. So I make eye contact with him. It was like direct eye contact. And I was like, shit, I can't keep running because he already saw me. So then I stopped dead in my tracks and wave at this man through the window in the door because I didn't know what else to do. I stopped dead in my tracks.
I'm pretty sure I had music playing in the bathroom.
You did
too.
You did.
So I'm like beat bopping, and
she is
rinsing
literally
my hair with the one drop of water that's coming out.
No idea what's going on, and I am like, my heart is in my butthole, and I am literally about to vomit everywhere. I am so scared. And so I walk up to the door and he's like just staring at me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And I don't know what to tell this man.
You didn't have your taser or anything.
No, I didn't have anything on me at all. I did what was probably so stupid to do in the whole scheme of things, but I fucking unlock and open the door.
But only a crack.
But I open it, where he could literally only see like half of my face. Like, I swear. I was so scared. I literally was like, hello?
Hello?
I literally was like, hello? And he was like, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm like with like maintenance at the rental place that we were staying at. And he was like, I didn't realize that there were going to be tenants tonight or occupants tonight. And the last occupant said that there was like a leak in the sink or something.
Yeah.
And I was still like standing there. I think I heard like every other word he said because I was like so scared. I could feel like my heart like pumping in like my head.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh, can you come back tomorrow? And he was like,
I love that your fight or flight was open the door and talk to him. Like,
it only was because he saw me. Because my first instinct was
flight.
It
flight and get Kelsey out of the bathroom.
Yeah. Was a flight and get protection. Like, get help. Like, someone help me so I'm not alone.
Oh my God.
But I was caught in a moment where I could not continue flight.
I don't know what I would have done either. So I guess you had to open the door.
Yeah, because as I was walking up to the door, I'm like, what do I do? Scream through it at this man? Like, no, I'm going to open it.
That would have freaked me out because I would have heard that.
Yeah. So I literally am like, can you come back tomorrow? And another dumb thing probably, because I was like, can you come back tomorrow? We won't be here.
Yeah.
Well, like telling him that we were only there for one night.
Oh, yeah. So
like,
if he was going to kill us, he only had one night to do it.
Exactly.
This is where women's minds go.
Yeah.
For all the men listening, this is like, never know.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like if this happened to a man, I don't think it would have freaked him out at all. No. I feel like if I was a guy, I would have been like, oh, what's up? Like,
you want to come in?
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, like, go ahead, fix the sink.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, he was like, oh, yeah, I can tell them that there were occupants or whatever. I was like, yeah, do that. Like, please come back tomorrow. And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, we're only staying tonight. Like, I think I repeated it to him. And in my head at the same time, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And he was like, oh, okay. And it was like a couple more minutes of us talking. And then he finally left. At the same time, he walked away from the door, and I am shutting and triple fucking locking this door back up.
All the locks.
And then I'm waiting by the bathroom. Like, I'm going to wait by the bathroom for you to come out, but at the same time, you have finished showering, I think.
And also the hallway that the bathroom is in, at the end of that hallway is that cabinet where you can hide in the wall.
So
it's
I was
like creepy. It's just so creepy.
So I was also too afraid to get too close to the cabinet. So I actually didn't know where to go. Yeah. After I locked the door.
Luckily though, I was finishing up.
Yeah.
Because I remember turning off the water and you were like, Kelsey, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because the whole time I'm in there, I was freaking out already. So as soon as I could hear in your voice, I was like, something
I was
happened.
So scared.
And then my heart dropped to my butthole because I'm like, then I'm thinking somebody's in there with a gun, pointing it at her, telling her to get me out. Yeah. And we're about to be tortured. Like, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know what I would have imagined if I was on your end of things. Like, I don't know what would have ran through my mind.
I thought someone was holding a gun to you.
Like,
that's
probably something similar. I feel like I would have immediately thought someone was in.
So then I'm like looking at the window in the bathroom and I'm like, do I? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The way I wouldn't have blamed you.
I would never do that. I know I'd leave you in an earthquake, but not with a murderer.
Okay, we'll see about that. If that ever happens.
Well, I actually don't know because I didn't know I was going to run away in the earthquake.
Yeah,
but I did.
Good point.
So then she tells me everything, and I'm like, oh my god. So then
I literally think I go, Kelsey, and you go, what? And I go, there was just a man here.
Yes. You're like, there was a man at the door. And I was like, what do you mean? What did he want? What kind of man? What? And so context.
I told her the whole conversation, that he was a maintenance guy for the rental company, they were to fix the sink, and I told him to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
so then I'm in my towel at this point. I have a towel around my body, a towel on my head, and we're upstairs now. We ran upstairs because he was still in the driveway in his truck.
He was still, this is at least 5 minutes later.
Yes.
Than when he walked away from the front door, and he was still sitting in the driveway, idling in the truck.
So we're looking out the windows on the second floor, calling the rental place, Marco.
Yeah.
Calling our boy Marco. He said to call it anytime. So we were like, well, okay.
Anytime.
And
you said it.
He did confirm that that's who that was. And all that.
Yeah. We did immediately call them before we called anyone else. Because I don't even know if we called 911,
hey, someone knocked on our door.
Saying he worked for the rental company, whatever. I don't know.
So it was more to just ease our own minds. So
yeah. So it was nice that it was confirmed.
It didn't really ease us at all.
No. But
also, it was good to know he wasn't most likely a murderer.
But even after that, you got off the phone and he still was sitting in the driveway for so long.
It was, he sat there close to 10 minutes.
I was just going to say that, at least 10 minutes, because it was so weird. And it was probably because he was trying to call his boss and tell him that he couldn't get in, blah, blah, blah.
Figure out if we were breaking in or if we were actually staying. Oh, exactly. Yeah, he probably thought that we weren't supposed to be there or
because he wasn't told that, because we were last minute. We had just got booked into that rental 30 minutes prior.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And there wasn't supposed to be anybody that night. Yeah. So it makes sense. But it was scary nonetheless.
Yes. If you're not expecting it, whatever. Yeah. It's scary.
And the vibes were already so bad. We were already freaking out a little bit.
Yeah. The vibes, I feel if the vibes weren't bad, it still would have been scary, but not as scary.
Yeah. And this house was pretty big, and it just felt like there were so many hiding spaces. Everything felt creepy. When we walked into like the main bedroom, the walls are white, and then it had a big window, but big blinds that went like pulled from the top and went all the way to the floor, but they were also white. And we legitimately thought that there wasn't a window in there. Yeah. Like, I was like, there's no window. It wasn't until we, like, went over closer and we realized it was, like,
we actually saw the window.
But
it was so weird.
It was so creepy. And then I
remember it was like a really old wooden dollhouse.
It felt like we were going to be trapped in that house at some point.
I felt like we were about to be part of that Criminal Minds episode that guy puts that like poison or chemical in those women that makes them living dolls. Like they're still alive, but they're dolls.
Oh my God, it did give those vibes.
Literally, that's what the vibes were in this place. It was horrible.
I just saw like a horror movie happening in real life for us. So,
but keep in mind, we're still not communicating this to each other.
No, we didn't. We were definitely both freaked out about the guy, but we didn't tell each other about like the bad vibes that we were feeling at all. So then naturally, we decide to do some gardening.
Yeah. Well, I did shower.
Oh yeah, she did shower. I think I sat in the bathroom.
Yeah, I did shower, and Kelsey sat in the bathroom with me because we were so freaked out. Because I remember telling you, I was like, I just kind of sat on the couch, and you were like, no, dude, I'm sitting in here with you.
There's no way.
And I was like, yeah, dude, also, I don't blame you.
And also every 5 seconds, Kelsey, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, okay, good.
I literally was like, Kelsey, are you in here? She was like, yep. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm
like staring at the door, like feeling like someone's going to try to get in. And
I kept panicking. Like I just kept getting like these panic.
Yeah. That's how I felt when I was
like, are you still here?
I didn't even know anything had happened. Yeah, it was just weird vibes. So then we do a little bit of gardening, which is a horrible idea.
A horrible idea. It was like,
why we were already so paranoid and freaked out. Did we think it would calm us down? Like, we knew it wouldn't. We knew it wouldn't. So then we go to dinner. First of all, dinner was we don't need to dwell too much on dinner, but it was freaking weird.
There were some weird vibes in the restaurant.
So then we're at dinner and we're both still freaking out, but still haven't said anything to each other.
No.
And we're texting our girlfriends back home. We have like a group chat with all 7 of us. And we're texting the group chat.
Because they were asking us like, how is it?
Yeah. And that's when in the group chat, I said like, you guys, our Airbnb is so scary. I don't even want to go back. And that's when I sent that text. That's when we like started talking about like how freaked out we were by this place.
I think you sent that. And I remember like to you out loud at dinner. I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God you feel that way too.
And we were seriously looking at each other going, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
I do not want to go back.
Like we didn't have a choice. That's how
bad of a feeling we had in our guts.
We didn't even want to go back at all.
But
all of our stuff was there.
Yeah.
Like we did not want to, the whole dinner, we were dreading it. So dinner ends. At that point we were like, we need to get out of this restaurant because we were freaking out in there.
And we were like, you know what? I think we're just like being dramatic. Like we're going to get back like and play Clue.
Oh yeah.
And it'll be fine. Like da-da-da-da-da. Like no, we're just freaking out. We're being dramatic. Like it's going to be fine once we get back. Once we like get more settled in, get in our PJs, like it's not going to feel as freaky. Like maybe we were just like overthinking it.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. I know for sure I was not thinking that. I know for sure I was like panicking because I did not.
Oh my God.
I was like, I can't do it. I can't go back there. I don't want to go back.
In my mind, I literally was like, no, I'm being dramatic. It's not that bad. Like, we're going to go back. It's going to be fine.
I remember we were like kind of saying that out loud. I did not want to go
there
back.
There was a part of me deep down that was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get me the fuck out of here.
So we go back.
And it's as creepy as ever.
We're scaling the ice on the stairs to get. I don't know how that man got up and down those stairs.
No, me either.
When I tell you guys, we had to like cling on to this railing to get up.
Yeah.
Like clinging on. So then this house is so creepy. So then we're in the house and it's freezing cold. Even our feet are cold. Like the floor is freezing. So we're like, let's turn the heat on. So we're in this. When you walk in, the stairs are to your right. And then there's like a little hallway. Kitchen is straight ahead, living room's to the left, hallway with the other bedroom, the bathroom to the right. So we walk in, the thermostat is like in the hallway, right in front of the front door. So we turn the heat on. We wait a little bit. All the sudden, the front door starts rattling like crazy. And before I even like had a single thought in my head, I look and Kristen's gone. Gone.
You guys, when I tell you I've never felt fear like that in my life.
And her flight is so quick. It was like, I don't know how you got gone so fast.
I could have started like an airplane.
You could have. You were faster than an airplane. It was insane. She zipped into the bedroom. So then I'm like looking at the door.
Into the bedroom where there's no exit. There's a window. So in my mind, I'm like, I will jump out of this window if I have to.
We will break the window and get out. So then after it settles what's happening, I sprint into the bedroom too. And Kristen's just standing there. She's just standing in the room, like facing the wall. I'm like, well, what's the plan? Like, you've been here for so long. What's the plan?
Because in my mind, it was like...
You had flight and freeze as your reaction.
There was no fight in me. No fight at all. It was flight and freeze.
I'm literally thinking I'm going to be in there and she's already going to be like setting us up to escape out the window.
Because in my mind, I'm like...
Or grabbing her taser or something.
Yeah, I thought you'd do something. But because our stuff was still upstairs.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm in the room staring at the wall thinking, I don't have any of my stuff because it's upstairs. If I break out of this window, like we're gonna owe the Airbnb so much money for breaking their window.
It's gonna be so cold because we don't have shoes on or anything.
I'm also thinking, I have to get Kelsey because she's not in the room with me at this point. And so I'm literally frozen thinking of like A, B, C, D, E options to get the fuck out of this cabin.
And we're thinking someone's breaking in. Like that's what we were thinking was happening.
Keep in mind, an hour and a half before that, there was a man knocking at the door, and we were two girls there alone.
And that happened 5 minutes after we got there. Mm-hmm. Then, within 5 minutes of us getting back, the door's rattling again. Like, come on.
Yeah.
We were being watched, for sure.
Like, how it rattled, it was the door handle. Like, it literally sounded like someone was jiggling the door handle so aggressively to open the door.
It was terrifying. Terrifying. So then we're in the room, and it stopped. Nothing's happening anymore, but we can hear the heat on. And I'm like, one of us has to go check. Yeah. And I look at Kristen, and I was like, it's not going to be Kristen.
It's not going to be me.
So somehow, I'm like, I would not say I'm a very calm person. Like, I'm hyper and crazy and, like, wild. And for some reason, in situations where, like, there's actual panic happening, I pull it together and I'm calm.
Yeah, so I was actually really impressed.
I somehow walked out of the room and walked up to the front door to look outside and figure out what it was. And that's when I noticed the heater is next to the front door. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh.
Oops.
But it was too late because at this point, I said, it was the heater. And Kristen goes, okay. And she comes out and I go, we can't stay here. She goes, nope. We immediately are sprinting around this Airbnb. It was literally
like the last straw was that door rattling like that. And even though we like debunked it, it still struck such a nerve for both of us so deep down in like fear that we were like, we gotta go.
No, there was no, it was like, it's not an option to stay here. Yeah. It's not an option.
So we're like, what do we do? What do we do?
We didn't even, before we even figured out what to do, Kristen's like grabbing her stuff, throwing it in my bags, grabbing my stuff, throwing it in her bag.
I literally
throwing things into our suitcases.
Ran upstairs, grabbed all of our stuff, carried it all downstairs, and then just started packing everything into like the closest bag. And whether it was mine, Kelsey's, food we bought at the grocery store, I was shoving it in my suitcase.
It was everything. And if anyone would have seen this from an outside view, us at the thermostat, head swiveled to the door, Kristen's gone, I'm in, we come out, and then we're just sprinting around the Airbnb, throwing shit in our bags. Yeah. We were psychos, but that was like the most scared feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it was so scary.
But then at the same time, you're like, let's look at hotels. We have to book a hotel room. We have to get out of here. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'll look up hotels, you look them up, and I made Kelsey call them.
Because I hate calling Googling
people. So I was like, I'm going to Google all of the hotels that look nice here. Because I'm like, I don't want to stay somewhere.
Like a motel, sketchy motel, and be in the same situation we're in now.
Right. So I'm looking up these hotels. We're Googling, we're checking the room rates, and Kelsey's calling the ones that are like reasonable.
I think I called the first hotel that I saw, which was a Marriott. Oh. So I'm on the phone with them. And they're like telling us it's going to be like $500. And we had already paid. We had already paid $300 for the Airbnb. Mm-hmm. But there was no
question about it, because at the same time she's doing that, I am looking at the prices of the other hotels in the area, and they're the same price, if not more expensive. Yeah. And so I was like, this is our only option right now, because it's all going to be the same.
Yeah, I'm like trying to like, is there any like, are there any discounts? Are there any deals?
Yeah, you had to like sign up for a membership.
We ended up getting a king suite. Yeah, because that was somehow cheaper. I signed up for like a membership,
like over the phone. This was all at the same time.
And then as I'm like doing all this, she's like showing me her phone and all the other rates. So then eventually I just was like, yep, we'll take it. Mm-hmm. I remember going to get my credit card and my hand was trembling, you guys. My body was shaking. I was so scared.
At this point was like, okay, like this is confirmed. Like this is where we're going. So I'm once again like packing up all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Like running around by myself while you're like giving this guy your card information.
We're like we're throwing shit in bags. Mm-hmm. We're on the phone with the hotel trying to get it booked, running around this Airbnb. And then we are like, we gotta get to the car.
We gotta get to the car with all of our stuff. When we got to the cabin, we had so much stuff that we took multiple trips to get all of our stuff into the cabin.
We were not taking multiple trips to get out of that cabin.
We were like, we are grabbing all of our shit at once and getting into the car. Neither of us are coming back inside of this place. We're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Like, it was a second trip was not an option.
It was not an option.
That's how freaked out we were.
But the stairs are still ice. Okay. So Kristen's on one side with the railing, clinging onto the railing, with her bag like dropping out of her hand.
Wait, not only that, I packed my like carry-on suitcase was my bag because it fit everything.
Yeah.
And so I packed that, but then we also had like, I think I had another like duffel bag full of my snowboard stuff. And then I had my water and my snowboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so did you.
Yeah.
So that we are each carrying.
We don't have extra hands.
I don't even know how we carried all of that at once.
I don't either. I think it was like the adrenaline.
It was our will to survive.
Things were probably like around our ankles, around our necks. Yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah. And so we are both on opposite sides of the stairs. I'm at the side on the railing because I'm like, the other side doesn't have a railing.
There was no
And so I was like, I'm going to cling onto the railing and just like slide down.
And she's the whole time going, I'm going to drop my suitcase. But if she would have dropped her suitcase, it would have gone all the way into the road. Like, it's not like it would have
gone like into the middle of the field.
Yeah, it would have gone
like,
in the field.
It would have kept going. And so I was like, I can't drop it. And it's like one of those things where it's like your grip strength of like your fingers are slowly peeling off of what you're holding onto. Yes. I was panicking.
And it's freezing cold. So
I think I had like three, like I didn't have my full hand on it. I think I had like 2 or 3 fingers like still latched onto it. And I was like, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it.
Oh my God. Arms wrapped around the railing. Everything else like holding on for dear life. Half trying to step, half sliding.
Yeah.
The whole time saying, I'm going to drop my bag.
It's like, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it. And then at the same time, Kelsey's on the other side of the stairwell going, it's not as bad over here. And she is.
I was like, wait, it's actually not so bad over here. But every 2 seconds, I'm like, you hear a slip and and in our minds, though, we were like super speed down because we're we're running away from the house. We think something's like following us. Okay.
At this point, like there is something following us in our minds. If something was
following us, it would have gotten us so quick because we were moving so slow.
I felt so super sweet though.
It felt like that whole thing was like 0.05 seconds long.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we flew down there and we got to put stuff in the car.
We open Kelsey's trunk. She has a Jeep Wrangler. Okay. We open Kelsey's trunk so it pulls like to the side. So I have to like hold onto it to not like slide down the rest of the driveway.
Like pretty icy too.
Yeah. So I'm like holding onto it because I have to slide it open at me.
Yeah. You were on the wrong side of it.
Or swing it open, not slide it open. And I'm trying to put bags in there, but Kelsey is on the other side, so she gets in there first. And somehow your hands were more available than mine.
Because it was open where I was, so I just threw all my stuff in. I thought you already had, or I thought you were just like dilly-dallying around.
I couldn't. The angle that I was at and how icy the driveway was, I physically could not like toss my bags into the car, mainly because I had literally a 2-finger grip on my suitcase, so I couldn't even like. It was not going anywhere. Like all I could do was hold on to it and let it slip out of my hand.
Yeah.
And so I'm yelling at Kelsey, help me put the bag in, help me put the bag in, help me put the bag in. And Kelsey whips around and looks at me and goes, why can't you put the bag in? And I was like, I'm fucking dropping it, dude.
I remember snapping on you, and I was not mad at you, but I was so freaking scared, and I was like, I swear to God, if we get killed because you won't put your bag in the Jeep.
I was like, I physically can't. Like, help me.
And I'm like, and then I remember being like, oh, okay, sorry. I grabbed it, threw it in. Once we got in the car, zoomed out of that driveway and down that road so fast.
Before we even know where we were going.
Didn't even know if I was going the right direction.
We didn't even put in navigation yet at all.
No. We were just like.
We were like, we hope that we're going the right way. I think we even came upon like a 4-way stop or some weird like 3-way stop, and you were like, I'm just gonna go left.
Yeah, I remember. I can picture it in my head, and it kind of like curved up.
Yeah.
It was so scary. The whole time we were driving, I'm trembling.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to also the fact that we're like running away from this house, but like I literally locked it. Like I still locked it up and turned the lights off.
Yeah, we did.
And then we get to our hotel. I definitely felt safer, but I was just freaked out. Like I think I wouldn't have felt fully safe anywhere besides our apartment at that point. Like, I just wanted to be home. But we did end up playing Clue.
Yeah.
Played a couple rounds of Clue.
Yeah.
And then we went to bed. I got some sleep. I don't think we would have slept at that house. I don't think
I don't think so either. Yeah, but I remember, I think after like our second game of Clue, and then we played the We're Not Really Strangers game.
Yeah, we did.
And I remember I was like, my eyelids were like trying to force themselves shut. I was so tired.
Yeah. So we went to bed. Keep in mind, the whole entire reason that we stayed the night in Big Bear was so that we could snowboard in the morning to get our money's worth for the season.
Yeah, because people have asked us, well, why did you stay at a hotel and you didn't just drive home? It's like a 2.5, 3-hour drive home.
It would have been easy.
Like, it would have been so easy and we wouldn't have wasted $500.
No.
But we were so fixated on also snowboarding the next day that we were like, it's not an option to drive home. We want to snowboard tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow came. And it was raining.
It was like sleeting.
Yeah.
And we decided not to snowboard. But I had left a couple things at the AirBNB in the bathroom. So we had to go back, but we had to go back anyway because we had to drop the keys off in like a lockbox that was there. And
I was so mad that we had to go back.
But we were like, okay, it's daytime. It'll be fine in the daytime. Like, watch us go back and be like, oh my God, this isn't even scary. So we go back, and in the day, the morning, bright and sunny, so much natural light in this house. We had the exact same feeling.
Yeah, exact same feeling the next day. Like, seeing this place for the first time in the daylight.
Yeah.
It was not good.
We were even then, I was like, grabbing my stuff, and I was like, let's leave. Like, I did not want to be in there. It was so creepy. And we're looking around the street that this house is on, and we're like, yeah, no. We could not have stayed there. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah. Like, we were like, we made the right decision. like anything to convince ourselves that we were like, no, we were right. We had to do what we did.
Even
and I still believe that.
I believe that too, because even now when I think about that house, I'm scared.
I would love to go back to it now.
I want to drive by it. I don't want to go in that house ever again.
Oh my God.
I feel like we pushed our luck with how many times we went in there.
I know, fair.
It was horrible. But it's such a crazy story now. Like, the whole thing was so scary and so funny all at the same time. It wasn't funny in the moment at all.
Because we were so scared.
Looking back, the way we were, like, scaling this railing to get in and
when
out.
we knew that we were safe.
Like, I just picture the neighbors, like, watching this whole thing of us, like,
if anyone saw us, like, I hope that one day we find a video of it, because that, looking back on that was so funny.
I would pay so much money to be able to watch that whole night on video.
Oh my God.
I wish so bad. It was crazy. But yeah, that's our Airbnb disaster story.
It was so crazy.
As much as it sucks that we spent $800 for literally no reason, I think it's like one of my favorite memories.
I feel like we tell the story a lot. Like,
we do.
So many people ask to hear it.
And we love telling the story.
Yeah.
It's so stupid in the end. Nothing even happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing
but
actually
it was like
happened.
One of the scariest nights of both of our lives.
Yeah.
But I think what makes it so scary is we know what we felt when we walked into that house. Like, there was something off about it. I feel like
so many of our friends, mainly, like, I feel like a few of our guy friends think that we're crazy when we tell this story, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I really think that they, like, try to be supportive, but they're like, you guys were being so dramatic. But no. But I feel like if anyone was there, anyone would have felt how we felt about this place. It was so heavy. It was not right. It was not right. And even when we told the rental guy this, like, the next day, he was like, well, we had a group stay there the night before and they were, like, perfectly fine and da-da-da-da.
We were like, well,
and we were like,
it's probably a group of guys. Like, they're not,
no. And
they don't have intuition like we do.
And he also said it was like a group of like 6 people and it was just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It was just like, okay, well, they had more people. They, like, probably felt more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good. But even when we show people the videos of the house, they're like, oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, it's so creepy.
Yeah. We'll post some pictures and videos on Instagram.
Yeah. I think you have the good ones on your phone because you actually took, like, a video tour.
When we went back the next morning, I took a video of the whole house because I was like, I know that I'm going to want to, like, have a visual for this when I explain
I don't think I have any pictures or videos of it. I think it was you who took all of those. Ugh, I'll have to look. Crazy. But never again.
The end.
Done.
That's the story. But yeah, it was a night to remember for sure.
Yep. And then we're out $800.
$800 later, we have a really good story to tell.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for listening to our Big Bear Airbnb disaster story. We love that story.
If any of our friends, like, listening or watching, if any of you guys have any stories, like, we want to hear them.
Yeah.
If any of our friends listening or watching to this have any, like, scary Airbnb experiences or stories, like, we want to hear them.
Or just anything paranormal. Like, anywhere you went that was just, like, heavy. Or, like, you knew something was off. Intuition type stories.
I love hearing about that.
Please tell us, because we love those stories. And you just know sometimes when things are off.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But anyways, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
Next week, we're doing another fun one. We are going to talk about the worst first dates that we've been on. So Kristen has 2. I have 1. They're
interesting.
If you're one of our followers who lives, like, in the Midwest or somewhere pretty normal, these stories will shock you.
I just feel like dating in general, everyone has bad dates. And I know it can get crazy out there, but dating in LA is so wild. So wild. The characters that you meet, it's unreal.
So we're going to share some of our dating experiences. All 3 stories are men in LA.
Yep.
So all 3 of the worst dates that we have ever been on, ever in our lives, were in LA.
Yep. And I have only been here for almost 5 years.
Yeah, I've been here almost 4.
No, oh my gosh, I think I'm on year 6 actually. I think I've been here 5 years. Keep an eye out on our YouTube. That was the funniest thing you could have done in that situation. Make sure you're following our YouTube and Spotify accounts. That's where we post our podcast, new episodes every Friday. And then follow us on Instagram at Kouch_Chronicles.
And TikTok at Kouch.Chronicles.
Okay.
Okay, bye.